we stopped at Frankenstein's cat, and we said that Emily Athens opposing the scientific interference in life and the genetic modifications on animals. And she was inspired by using the title Frankenstein. So we have to know first who is Frankenstein. So here, here is Frankenstein, girls. Here is Frankenstein. Who is Frankenstein? Frankenstein, girls, you see Google, right?
Yes, miss.
Okay, Frankenstein is about a scientist, the scientist, and he was making an experiment. Experiment of what? Of collecting parts of dead human and tying them together, sewing them together to create a person. So he takes a head from a man, hair from another man, hand from a man. That's why when Frankenstein appears, you feel like he has threads in his body. Okay, here you feel like he has been stitched. Okay, so Frankenstein, of course, it's here. It's not a real one, of course, yeah. So a scientist who has interfered, this is a story about a scientist who has interfered and he collected parts of dead bodies and he tied them together, stitched them together to create a new kind of human. So the new kind of human was what? With Frankenstein. So he was a real human? No, he was a monster. So the scientific interference get a monster, not a new human, a monster. You understand? So the scientist thought that he is doing something brilliant, that he is using science to create new invention, a new human. But what did he invent? What did he create? He created a monster. He created what, girls?
A monster.
Yes, and this is how she warns us from the genetic modification. It will not create a normal or a new thing. It will create a monster. So that's why she used Frankenstein, because Frankenstein is a monster that has been made from what? From science and genetic modification and science experiments. A scientist who wanted to make an experiment, so he collected parts of dead bodies, and he stitched them together to create a human, but on the other hand, he created a monster. Okay, so she is with the idea of genetic modification or against?
Against.
Okay, so we go back to our presentation. Okay, guys, do you see the PowerPoint? Yes. Okay, so here we stop the novel Frankenstein of a story of a scientist whose explorations into life and death, he wanted to explore, to see into life and death, led to what his explorations led to what? To the disastrous results. The result was a monster, not a human. So it inspired Emily, okay, to use the novel theme to launch discussion about the ethics of using science. So there should be ethics before deciding to use the science in normal life. So is it ethical that I can change the genes of an animal or not? Okay, because after a while they change genes of human. So is it ethical or not? Okay,
Yes.
using
Yes.
science to alter the natural process underlying organisms and ecosystems. Yes, dear? Who's talking? Okay, so Dareen,
Yes, Miss.
read please.
The
Girls, I want to
PowerPoint.
remind you that you have to make your homeworks because now I put the marks. Okay, read Dareen.
The
Miss,
slide, Miss.
Yes,
Miss,
yes,
can I even join again? I couldn't see the
yes,
presentation.
yes, yes.
Thank
In Frankenstein's Cat, journalist Emily Andres
Frankenstein's cat.
takes us from Petri dish to pet store as she explores how biotechnology is
Yes,
shaping
biotechnology is using technology in biological stuff.
the future of our furry and further friends. As she
Who was our furry and feathered friend? Furry, those who have fur. Feather, those who have feathers. Furry like cats and dogs. Feathers, those like birds.
should I
Continue.
complete, Miss?
Yes.
As she ventures from
Ventures.
collect
Yes,
brine yards
barnyard.
to a frozen zoo where scientists are storing DNA from the plant's most exotic creatures. She
Yes,
discovered
from the planet's most exotic creatures. I will show you something here. Wait.
Miss said something
Yes.
about homework. Which one?
Yes.
You said something about a homework. Which one do you
Yes.
mean?
I said, please do it. Do your homeworks because I assigned the marks.
Ah, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do you see Google?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is the frozen zoo. Frozen zoo. What is a frozen zoo? Frozen zoo when they keep here, saving endangered species. Okay. Here. What is in frozen zoo? What do they do in frozen zoo? The scientists store or save the DNA from the planet's most exotic creatures. So here, for example, if you see this, for example, like here, this rhino, they want to save him. So they save his DNA. You know what is the DNA? You studied it in biology, girls?
Yes.
Yes, DNA holds and have all the what? All the genes of, if it's a DNA for rhino, it has the DNA, all the genes for rhino. DNA for a monkey, it has all the genes for monkey. So they save those DNA, okay? They save it like here. They save it in order to use it later, maybe to inject another female rhino, like here, to save the endangered animals. So you understand, girls, what's frozen zoo?
Yes.
Okay. So we go back to our presentation. Do you see the PowerPoint now, girls?
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay, who's reading? The
Me,
reading?
miss.
Yes, continue the reading. Where scientists are storing DNA from the planet's most exotic creatures.
She discovered how we can use cloning to protect endangered species, crafts, processed.
Cloning, how can I say to you about cloning? Did you take it in biology?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Cloning is to make a copy of the animal.
To save injured animals and employ genetic engineering to stock farms with disease-resistant livestock along the way. We meet some of the animals that are ushering in the astonishing age of sorry, miss.
It's okay.
Enchantment, including what, miss?
Sensor-wearing seals, cyborg beetles, bionic bulldog, and the world's first cloned cat. The world's first cloned cat. Let's show you. When I was young, they were talking about the first. It was Dolly. Her name was Dolly. Here is it. I will share it to you. Here. When I was at your age, they talk about the sheep Dolly. That here is it. They with me, Dolly. Here is Dolly. They saved her DNA, okay, and they copied it. They make a copy of it. Here it is. There is she. Okay, by taking her DNA, and then let's see the first column. Cat. Here is it. Where's first cloned cat? CC. CC, the first cloned cat. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
We go back to our PowerPoint. Here is it. Okay. So before we continue, there is this site. You see the PowerPoint or Google?
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
Oh, okay. Because there is a site that the book recommended that you give a look at. Foundation Brochure. You see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Foundation Brochure. Foundation is like a foundation, like an organization. Foundation Brochure. Okay. Scientific activities, publications, Brochure Foundation's domain, alumni club, contact them. Let's see scientific activities. The Brochure Foundation research for the future of human being and society. Okay?
Yes.
Like, what can you see in it? Hosting, visiting researchers, hosting workshop, hosting summer and winter academies. Here, Professor Daniel says from Harvard University says the foundation Brochure is an essential player in this vital thinking process, one which will help make us aware of the real challenge in using our resources for maximum impact on the health of the people of the world. Okay? So if we For example, check Brochure Summer Academy. Each Summer Academy focuses on a specific subtopic. So, what is it about? The Brochure Harvard Summer Academy brings together every 2 years and for a 1 week session distinguished professors with highly promising researchers willing to acquire a strong background on ethical allocation of health resources on a global health perspective. The ethical allocation of health resources on a global health perspective. So they discuss the same idea of Emily, the ethical usage of scientific activities. Okay? The domain here. Here is it, the place. Okay. And there is a club. So there are the meetups. Okay. So he wants to tell you that there is an organization, okay, that discusses the scientific or the science effects on health and life. Brochure meetups to explore the ethical and legal social issue relating to new medical development and health through talks and debates. Whenever there is a new technology, a new medicine, medical development, they just sit together and discuss it. Okay? Okay.
Yes.
You understood it? So we go back to our PowerPoint. Here is it. Okay. We start reading it. Okay, open page 332, girls. 332. Okay, we start reading. Fatima, read please.
Yes. Frankenstein's cat. Science have given us.
From identifying key ideas.
Oh, okay, sorry, miss. Identifying key ideas and subtopics. Emily Antis writes about the intersection between science and animal welfare in her book Frankenstein's Cat. The title plays.
Frankenstein's dear, Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's Cat. The title plays on the story of Frankenstein's monster, who was assembled from parts of different human bodies. Read the following excerpt in the Anthis discuss the pros and cons of scientific intervention.
Yes, continue.
Objective, underline the main idea of entire passage and write main idea, then identify the subtopics or supporting ideas by underlining them and writing subpoints in in the My Thoughts column.
Yes. So here. Okay, Frankenstein's cat. So what are we going to do? In the first read, we are going to highlight the main idea of the entire passage and label its main idea. Then you tell me the sub-points, supporting ideas, or the subtopics. Okay? Frankenstein's Cat by Emily Antis. Thank you, Fatima. لين عمار. لين عياد. لين عمار. لين عياد.
Yes, Miss.
Which Lين?
Lilin Iyad.
Lين, great Lين. Okay, start reading, Lين.
The scientists have given us.
From Frankenstein's Cat. Yes, science has given us.
A whole new toolbox for tinkering with life, and we have a power to modify animals of profound new ways. We need editing the genetic code, rebuilding their broken bodies, and supplementing their natural senses. Headlines, frequency, herald, the birth of strange new creature. Bionic beetles, glowing cats, spider goats, roborats.
Roborats.
The breakthrough are
Simultaneously.
simultaneously astounding and puzzling. What are these creatures exactly? What do you like? What do they look like? Who who creating them and why? And are these animals really so novel?
Okay, so science has given us, this is what she says. This is how she started her essay. Science has given us a whole new toolbox for tinkering with life. And we have the power to modify animals in profound new ways. We have new ways to profound animals, to modify animals, modify the animals. We are editing their genetic codes, the genes, we play in their genes, rebuilding their broken bodies, and supplementing their natural senses. Supplementing their natural senses. Headlines frequently herald the birth of strange new creatures. So these are examples. Where is the main idea here, girls? We know that the main idea, okay, or central claim is to be told in the introduction. So here, where is the main idea? But it is not necessarily to be at the end of the paragraph, by the way. Where is the main idea here? Who can tell me?
That we can modify the animals in any way we want. We can play with the genes.
Excellent. So please underline it from the beginning till senses or new ways, till new ways, these two lines. Science has given us, she wants to say, she wants to claim, her claim is science has given us a whole new toolbox for tinkering with life, and we have the power to modify animals in profound new ways. So please underline it. Okay. We are editing their genetic codes. When you edit a gene code, you would like to do it? Is it ethical or not? Is it good or not? If you rebuild a broken body, is it good or not?
For whom? For
What
me?
is a good thing for playing in the genes? What is a good thing and what is a bad thing? Rebuilding their broken body is something good or bad?
Good.
Good. So So please write a plus next to it. Please underline it, and a plus, it means it's something positive. And editing the genetic codes is something good?
No.
So please underline it and write a minus on it. Emily wants to say that we, our scientists, have the power to modify and change animals. They can build their broken body. If a cat fell off the 7th floor, she will break her legs, so they can rebuild it by using new ways, but in the same time, they can play in the gene of a cat. So, yes, it's good to build her, to amend her broken body, rebuild it, but on the same time, it's too hard and difficult to play in her genetic codes. Okay? Headlines frequently herald the birth of strange new creatures. So we start to see strange new creatures like bionic beetles. Let me show you. Here is it, Bionic Beetle. See, this is the beetle, and they add on it this technology bar. I don't know. What do they do with this? Bionic Beetle. Let's see. Here is it. Okay. Agency of the United States Department of Defense has resulted in the creation of implementation which hijack control of the beetle's motor functions. So the giant beetle wears an electronic backpack which is implanted in the early stages of growth. So when she is small, they plant it and stays there, and she grows with it. According to a research group, the device works through the implantation of several neutral electronic into the beetle's nervous and muscular system. In her nervous and muscular system, a microcontroller and microbattery are mounted on the beetle dorsal thorax. The microcontroller transfer appropriate electrical signals via the implanted electrodes. Okay. So this is the bionic beetle. What is another example she gave, girls?
The glowing cat.
Glowing cat.
Yes, let's see, what is a glowing cat? Here is the glowing cat. A cat to glow in dark. Glowing transgenic cats. Okay. Here is it. See, the cat is three cats genetically modified to resist feline immunodeficiency virus have opened up new avenues for AIDS research. So this is for research for the cat immunity. Okay. And what is another thing she said? What is another example she gave? To search for you?
Goat.
To show you?
Spider goat.
Spider goats and robo rats. Robo rats. Here. But no, it looks like they don't get scientific details of it. So what is this is another one. What is spider goats? Let's see, spider goats. Goats that produce spider silk. Goats that produce spider silk. Here, spider plus goat, spider goat. Okay, girls. Let's see, they put numbers on the goat, they number it, so for the experiments. Okay, we go back to our no, not this one. Here. Okay, so she finishes the paragraph by asking rhetorical questions, that questions to convince you. What are these creatures exactly? What do they look like? You look at the beetle, you look at the spider goat, bionic beetle, the glowing cat. What are these? Who is creating them and why? And are these animals really so novel? Okay. Layan Fadl, are you here? Kadra,
Yes,
please read, dear. Continue reading.
indeed, we have a long history of refashioning animal bodies. Take the varied
Indeed. Wait, Kadra, from Indeed, yes.
We have a long history of refashioning animal bodies, taking the varied members of the species Canis lupus familiaris, the modern dogs, which are products of millennia of life with humans and bear little resemblance to their ancestors, grey wolves. Exactly how this dog domestication began is the subject of intense debate. Some scientists suggest that we deliberately set out to acquire companions, adopting wild wolf pups. Others hypothesize that hungry wolves, attracted to the bones, trash, and the scraps produced by early humans, approached our camps on their own terms, and that our tolerance of the least threatening interlopers gave rise to the future generation of human-friendly canions. Either
Okay,
way,
stop here, dear. He wants to say what she wants to say. Indeed, we have a long history of refashioning animal bodies. To refashion animal bodies. So please underline it. Okay. Take the varied members of the specific Canis lupus familiaris, the modern dog, which are products of millennia of life with humans and bear little resemblance to their ancestors. Wait a minute, I'll show you. Canis of this comes, I don't want this to come. Yes. Here. Canis lupus familiaris, okay, it's a dog that has been a result here of what? The modern dog, which are products of millennia of life with humans and bear little resemblance to their ancestors, grey wolves. So this dog came from wolves. From wolves. You know the wolf? Basically, it was a wolf, and then they changed till it became a dog. Okay, so we go back to our Here. So, exactly how this dog domestication began is a subject of intense debate. Domestication is to make it because a wolf, you cannot raise a wolf, you can raise a dog. So when they make this dog be able to stay home, is domestication began is a subject of intense debate. So debate is people agree and people do not agree. Some scientists suggest that we deliberately set out to acquire companions adopting wild wolf pups. So they adopt wolves, they don't want to adopt these wild, so they make them domestication animals. Other hypothesis or think that hungry wolves attracted to the bones, trash, and scraps produced by early humans approach our camps on their own terms, and that our tolerance of the least threatening interlopers. So here we are on page 353, girls. What is interlopers? They read it from down. Here.
Outsiders.
Outsiders, yes. Okay, so before we start the 333 and we continue because the period is finishing, we continue next time. Okay, girls?
Yes.
Okay. See you tomorrow, girls. Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.